This is Gamjatang, or pork back stew. It's cooked right here on the table. Some of the pork is already cooked, but we have some sliced pork belly up here, and it comes with all of these sides. While it's heating up, we're gonna pair it with a Makgeolli. Cheers. This experience seems a little intimidating at first, or at least we were intimidating when we came here. But really, you have these tongs, and you could just kind of move all the food in as it starts heating up. We're seeing it's bubbling up right here. So that's gonna get hot. It's gonna cook this pork belly, and I'm gonna eat it. Underneath all the vegetables, you can see these large pork chunks. That's kind of the heart of this dish. It gets hot quick, basically starts boiling, but it's gonna need to do that to cook all the vegetables. We just start grabbing what we wanna eat it with the rice and the sides. I'm not sure what everything is, but I like this one, and I'll put it on the rice. I'll dip some of the pork in this sauce and just kind of pick it up together. You really can't beat this style of pork. There's a lot of meat on this pork bone, so I'll just pick off the meat, start putting it on the rice, and then just kind of mix and match flavors. Then start grab some of the vegetables and some of the broth from here too and spoon it over. There are a lot of similarities between the food here in Korea and back in the South in the United States. We'll see these greens, the pork. It's very familiar to me, but these flavors are a lot different. They hit more of the savory and tangy notes. Once it really gets going, it's gonna start to reduce that liquid, so I'm gonna drop the heat just a little bit. Now's a good time to start grabbing the veggies. There's a lot in here like leeks, bok choy, potatoes, and they're all just mixing the flavors as this cooks. The way the meat is on the bones, it's easier just to pick it up and just go at it sometimes. The meat just pulls right off the bone, and you'll get these really flavorful bits inside the spine. You can see how the bone is, where there's a lot of fat, collagen, and just pieces in the spine. The pork spine's cooked ahead of time, and the meat just comes right off the bone. You can see that this is a clean bone. We've never had this before, and we learned about it basically as soon as we got here because there's a restaurant for this on every corner, and they're usually open for 24 hours. They serve dishes like hangover soup, so when people are out partying, they come back in the morning and recover eating this. We started coming here quite often just because of how flavorful it is, and we feel really good after we eat it. Sometimes we even need a nap. We need to make sure we put the noodles in before the broth cooks all the way down too. Just gonna put that in there. Every bite is unique. I like adding in the fresh onion with the pork, and then between bites, grabbing some of the kimchi or one of these radishes. Getting some of that kimchi between bites. It's a lot of fun picking through here, finding exactly what I want to eat, finding those extra pieces of the pork belly, and then making that bite. The broth cooked down and thickened up, but all the flavor grabbed on these big pieces. And I'm ready to grab some of the noodles too. Look at these. I'm going for the noodles right away. The noodles just grab all of that broth flavor. I'm getting a lot better with the chopsticks, and that meat will just come right off. The Makgeolli started to settle. You could see where it's clear and has some of that cloudy liquid in there. So let's swirl it up. But that's why it's served with the bowls. The sides come with a spicy pepper, but I like to throw it into the broth while it's hot and cook it down a little bit. Add a little kick between bites. This itself isn't very spicy, but it has a ton of flavor. The best pieces are in the nooks and crannies of the spine. Radishes are really popular in Korea, and these are like kimchi radishes. They have a nice crunch and a good tang, like a little bit of the fermented tang to it. It's a good mix up in between the pork. The last bits are some of the best parts too. Once this thickens up and you can kind of baste your food with it, pull out the potatoes, because these have been cooking the whole time, and get those last bits of noodles and vegetables. They're incredible. When you come to Korea, do not skip the pork back stew, Gamjatang. Make sure to get it, and I'll see you in the next video.